Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share a little bit about some of my little pillows that I make and use for decor around my home. It seems like, especially this time of year, 4th of July is around the corner, or at Christmas time, I have these little pillows that show up in photos on my blog and on my Instagram, and I always get questions. So I'm just going to do kind of a quick run through of how I make my little pillows and just show you a couple of the little tips that I like to use to make them. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is the time of year when I get out some of my little seasonal decorative pillows, and I have them in photographs on my blog, and I always get questions for people about the small pillows. And so since I've actually been making some small ones recently, I thought this would be a great time for me to share some of my little tips with you. I just wanted to start out by sharing, we do have a video where I share how I make my zipper pillow backs, and so we can link that video. This is kind of my preferred method for doing pillows when I make larger ones. Here's some, I actually can't show you the front because they're kind of top secret right now, but I've finished 3 pillows in the recent week, and they all have the zipper back closure. And I just want to show you, they all have quilted backs. When I have the time and I can work ahead, I really do like to quilt the back. And I can show you, like, this is the look when it's not quilted. I just use the plain fabric, but I just really love when the backs can be quilted. Okay, so these, you know, I've had these for 25 years, I bet. And I just took little blocks and I did some hand quilting. I did not quilt the backs. Little button embellishments, little stitching. Really, these are from the 90s. So, and just stuffed them with filling. But recently I've been wanting to kind of up my little pillow game, and so I've been making some pillows. These 2 are actually done and ready to stuff. You'll notice that I did machine quilting on the front, and the backs are quilted too. And actually, I was working on these bigger pillows, and I actually had some extra backing, and so I cut it down to make the backs for some of my small pillows. So that's something that I just really like to do. If I have something I'm going to use for a pillow back for a couple of pillows, I can just take a big piece of fabric with just a white, since the white, this is going to be inside. You know, you're not ever going to see that backing, so I'll just use a plain white. And I'll just have the quilter quilt it, and then I've got pillow backing for a while. So that's what I did even with these little pillows. But I just want to kind of show you, there's just a couple things I could show you. So you can start with any size quilt block. These are actually 6-inch quilt blocks. They look a little smaller once they're quilted up and sewn into the pillow, but really similar in size to this. This was probably, that little flag in the center was probably a 6-inch block. Anyway, I start out and I make the block, and then I layer it with a piece of backing and batting. And for this one, this is actually a 4-inch block. This one's going to be really small. But it was a leftover orphan block, and I thought it would be cute in a bowl or on a tabletop with these. So anyway, I just did straight line quilting on my machine. And then the next thing you do is you're just going to trim it. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it. Okay, so I just trim them just the same size. And then I found a little backing. I like to find a backing that's just, when I cut the backing, I do actually cut it just a touch bigger all around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them right sides together. I do usually line 2 sides up where I'm going to start. And I just use this, which is the pillow front, I use the edge of that to base my 1/4 inch seam. So here's one that I've already put together. And you can see that it was quilted. This is the pillow back. Anyway, what I want to really point out right here is kind of what I do when I start and stop. Instead of just starting here and coming all the way around, I actually sew up. It makes it easier when you go to turn these inside out. And I have these clipped together because I want to press it before I stuff it. But if you sew up and over, and I backstitch there, and backstitch again, up and over, it just really makes it to where it's easier for you to sew the opening closed at the end because it's all right there. And I usually try to leave at least a 3-inch opening. And I'm actually going to turn this one out. This one's super cute. And I just push out, I mean, they're pillows, so I'm not worried about perfectly pointy edges. I feel like if you're not quilting the back, you can get pointier edges because there just isn't as much bulk. And I will go and press this and turn them a little bit more fully. But because of the way I sewed that, it just seems to make it easier to fold in these edges. And again, I will clip these and I will press them. And then I will actually just stuff them with fiber fill. You can use a lot of different things. You can use just polyester fiber fill. You can use batting scraps when you stuff them. You can, if you want to, I mean, a 6-inch block, it actually makes a nice, good size, sturdy pin cushion. So if you're going to stuff it for a pin cushion, you could use the little cage filler that you get at the pet food store with the crushed walnut shells. Make a really nice pin cushion. Or paperweight stuffing. You could also, some people use white sand. There's all different options, but I do get a lot of questions on these, and so I just thought I'd just kind of show you just how I kind of go about making these. And really you can take any 6-inch block or, you know, smaller. This one's going to be really tiny, and just make little pillows to set on a shelf or put in a bowl or decorate however you'd like. Okay, so that's it for my little pillows, what I do to make them. I love them. I think they're really cute, and I can't have hundreds of pin cushions, but I can use these pillows on little shelves and in little bowls around the house, and they just add a fun touch. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a few of my tips on how to make them. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.